Well, we are here in Albany, Oregon at the Albany Motorsports Park to run the Holmes Racing Factory QRC number 18T Outlaw Kart. Tonight is the practice night for the first annual Leach Cup. The Leach Cup, for anyone who doesn't know, is the richest paying Outlaw Kart race in Oregon history. It is going to pay $3,500 to win tomorrow and has a very large purse overall. Welcome back to today's video. We are excited to compete in kind of a little bit of a change of pace. All year long, or all summer long I should say, we have been running the limited sprint, the 360 and the 410. Both Carly and I have been behind the wheel, and now we are going to be running Outlaw Karts as we're slowly going to be transitioning into that type of racing this winter indoors. Today though is an outdoor race, and tonight we are going to be practicing. So the racetrack is just over that direction. We're kind of in the back of the pits. Got the 18T on a stand. We're just letting it warm up right now. We're about halfway through the practice session, so we have a couple hours left. I haven't turned any laps yet. I was kind of waiting for the racetrack just to lose a little bit of grip and widen out. Carly though was just out there making her first practice session of the day. So she looked really good. You can tell it's definitely a really fast pace, so we're just gonna head out there, make some laps, see what we think, and really try to tune in our car tonight for the big show tomorrow. So let's head out for practice session number 1 here at the Albany Motorsports Park.
That gear on, that's good out in clean air, but I guess it depends on where you pill draw tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
should we at least try it and then
maybe,
we'll
yeah,
know?
we can put it on and then take it back off, but at least you won't be hitting, because right now you're hitting.
Well, I think the only thing is where this could help us is in 1 and 2 if it's around the high side.
Well, you're
in the corner.
You're hitting the, you're hitting the rev limiter right in the corner.
What do you think gearing wise though?
Right now you're perfect. You're 1288. 1280 on your exhaust burn is perfect. You're 1288.
I say we put this on so we know.
Okay.
So I finished up the first session of the night for the 18T. One thing I didn't mention earlier in the video is we actually came and ran here about 1 month ago. Unfortunately, I didn't get enough footage that night to make a vlog. I ran someone else's kart. It was owned by Chris Rolfe, super good dude, and that was an awesome chance for me to get to run a couple of laps around this place in just a full night just to see what it was all about. Went out there, and the racetrack's actually really starting to develop 2 different lines. 1 and 2, it's a little greasy on the bottom, but you can hit it. You can also kind of run a little bit of a diamond line, enter high and then turn down. Once once they stop practicing for the night, I really want to go out there and show you all the different characteristics, because this place, I don't really know of another racetrack that compared to it, but a little of the conversation you heard my dad and I having, we're just trying to debate what gear to run. Honestly, everything felt good. It's just super hard to judge where you're at with not being able to look at a lap time. It felt like we were hitting the rev limiter just right into the corner, which is usually good timing, and I think the gear we have on there right now would be really good in traffic, but I want to try to give us a little bit more straightaway speed, because if we are starting up front tomorrow, we want to know what that's like so we can give ourselves the best chance when we're out front. So we're going to make a quick gear change. We're also going to add this makeshift air box on the hood, which I'll show you, which is going to help the 4-stroke run cooler, because these things just run way too hot. Came off the track and it was about 200. That's not catastrophic by any means, but it's definitely getting up there. So it's about 8 p.m. right now. They're going to be practicing for 1 more hour until 9. We're just going to go out and do 1 more session. We made a couple of changes. I talked about changing the gear, and I want to do that now so we just know going forward tomorrow, depending on where we're starting, to make the right decision, whether, you know, we want to have a gear that's better out front or a gear that's going to be better in traffic. As far as our setup though, and kind of where we scaled at home and had a baseline on, just wanted to see what would happen, I felt really good. I wouldn't even really make a lot of changes. I felt like it was stable on entry. It wasn't tight, so I could kind of open it up and roll through, not a very slick part of the track, but the slickest part where there wasn't a whole lot of grip, and then I could turn through the center and come off low in the grip. That allowed me to have good drive. I felt like I was able to keep the 18T pretty straight. Gonna go out there and just try a couple of different things. The racetrack probably is gonna be a little bit slicker. I did mention how we were running a little bit hot, so we put our air box in here right by the radiator. You can kind of see it in there with the light. Now with these KTM 4-strokes, they tend to run a little bit hotter, so guys do different things to combat that. We run a little bit different style hood that allows a little more airflow into the radiator. Now we also added this air box, which should bring the temperature down by 10 to 15 degrees. And as I mentioned, that's literally right inside here on that side and that side, and it just allows all the air to go to the radiator. So I'm gonna climb back in here in just a second and roll up to staging. Like I said, maybe do another 5 to 10 more laps, see if this makes any difference. But for the most part, hopping back in the cart here felt really, really comfortable, and I think we're super close for where we need to be tomorrow. We just have to see what tomorrow is gonna bring in the form of track conditions, weather, and how fast the racetrack is gonna lose grip. So I'm gonna go climb back in the 18T, and I'll be ready to give you guys a report when I climb back out. Well, second session's complete. Real quickly, my apologies. I was not able to get my onboard camera on there for that second session, so you guys got to see the shots that Carly got from the infield and from right off of turn 4. This place, as I mentioned earlier in the video, it's fast. I think they said the stopwatch timing that they're doing, we're in like the 9-second bracket, which for an outdoor track is pretty quick. Red Bluff, for example, it's small, it's indoors. Roseburg, which is just a couple hours south, it's indoors as well, and you're in the 8-second bracket. But for outdoors, being in the 9-second bracket, I would say is pretty fast. I felt like the gear change that we made helped us out, but at the same time, it's hard to judge because we're right back in the same RPM range, and part of that is because the racetrack's slickening off a little bit, so we're thinking we're probably spinning the tires, which therefore is raising the RPMs, and we're hitting the rev limiter actually sooner than we were in the first session. But overall, with the racetrack getting slicker, I felt like I was able to run multiple different lines. I really started running like this little diamond into one, or diamond in 1 and 2, where I would kind of open it up like I was going to run through the middle or the top and then turn off through the grip, and I felt like that really shortened up the racetrack. And then down in 3 and 4, a lot of guys were trying the top. I didn't think it was that great. I personally really liked the bottom because my car just stuck. I didn't feel loose at all. I could really just have the wheel turned a little bit to the left to where it drove through the grip. Well, by the end of it all, after about 3 hours of Outlaw Karts running around the Albany Motorsports Park here for the Thursday practice for the Leach Cup, it actually got pretty wide up here by like the Lego block wall, and then also a bunch of guys were running right around the bottom. Now down here on this end in 3 and 4, I felt most comfortable around the bottom. It had a grip lane pretty much the whole time. Got a little bit narrower there at the end, but because of the banking, you can still run it incredibly hard and keep your speed up. Now they're shutting the lights off on us, but I did want to try to show you the racetrack a little bit up close. Now the reason this place is so unique is just because of how the corners are shaped and how the front straightaway is pretty much a D. You literally never stop turning. You can see a little bit of that there, and then also just from the light you have, you can notice the corners are fairly tight. Down here is a little bit wider than 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is weird because you kind of get in the corner and the turn happens really fast, and then the straightaway comes up, and then that straightaway is not completely straight, just like the front straightaway is a D-shaped. So this place is going to be unique. I'm excited for a full day of racing tomorrow. We're going to have to get up early. I believe hot laps are at 11. So we have a little bit of maintenance to do. We're definitely going to try to get a good night's sleep tonight, and then also my mom's cooking dinner right now, so we're going to go eat, load the trailer, and be ready for the first annual Leach Cup tomorrow. Well, we got everything just pushed in the trailer. Tomorrow's races are going to be fairly early. I think pit meeting's at 10:30 and hot laps are at 11. And for a Friday show, obviously, I mean, that's right in the middle of the day. But I think it was super important that we got to practice tonight, considering tomorrow is 3,500 to win. We don't want to be messing around. This is not where you just show up and, you know, whatever works, whatever works. The fact that we got to run 2 sessions tonight, I think was super valuable, and we definitely have a direction and have an idea of where we need to start tomorrow and how we need to get through our 2 heat races, because that's the format. You gotta pass cars. If you don't, the farther back you're gonna be starting in the A main event or a lower main. Anyway, that is a great way to end it. Leach Cup tomorrow, $3,500 to win. That would be a pretty nice paycheck for Holmes Racing and our Outlaw Kart team. We will see you guys all there, and I think it's safe to say you're not gonna wanna miss the action. See you all tomorrow. Deuces.